Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the S&P 500 for Monday, March 7th, 2022. Picture perfect day in terms of what I was looking for or what I do look for in a 3 of 3 type of move. To do a quick review, this top up here at 44.18 is the completion point for the minor wave 2 of intermediate wave 3 going down. So what we've entered into is minor wave 3 of intermediate wave 3. And then within this minor third wave, it will consist of 5 waves of minute degree, of which we have minute 1 and 2. And then starting at the end of last week, we began to drop in the minute third wave. Now, in that minute third wave, it will consist of 5 waves of sub-minute degree. Again, just reflecting back on that Elliott wave is based and built upon building blocks. So starting with the largest picture that we can get, we then work our way down. And the patterns that we find on the largest degree also occur again and again and again and again as we move down to the lowest degree that I actually try to cover here is the sub-minute degree. So sub-minute, when we finish there, it creates a minute wave. Minute waves, when they're done, create minor waves, et cetera, all the way back up. So now we're working down. So we need to form 5 waves of sub-minute degree to complete the minute third wave. So here we have minute 1. But basically, let me just start again by where we left off last night during Globex. The Globex opening was a gap lower. And then the market continued to move lower as the evening progressed. In fact, when the European markets opened, it had reached its Globex low, and that was at 42.38, and then began to rally. And with all of that, I discussed during last night's update that I was anticipating that we would drop back into a stronger 3 of 3 move, and that would be part of the minute third wave. So we need to get a sub-minute 3 of the minute 3, et cetera, going back up to all the 3s that we have. Now, what I also discussed was the potential or the possibility, as the alternate view was showing, if the lows were in, and that was basically here, and then we got an additional one there, which kept that thought alive, but to follow through as I will describe. So from whatever low it was made, if the market began to turn higher and rallied back up through the 8 and the 20 and the 50, and then the 200-day moving average, and then back above 43.56, then that would leave 3 waves down, and we were running the probability that the minor wave 2 was still in progress. But we came down in 5. And it still would have left an ABC down. Then we started to rally, and we broke the 20, and then we broke the 50, and it got almost to that 200. Stopped just as we were going to get ready to open, and then just started to decline. Once we broke back below 42.38, we found it very easy. Actually, once we broke back below 42.75, I went back and I thought, okay, sub-minute 1, sub-minute 2 are in that third. Now, this third is exactly what I talk about. You can see that this, I'm going to open this up on the 30-minute chart so we can take a look at some of that internal movement. We dropped for an hour and a half. We got a 30-minute bounce. Then we dropped for another hour, and we've got a little bit more tangled mess of a bounce, a decline, decline, bounce, which was corrective. Then we declined again for the next 2 hours. And basically tried to recover some in the after hours, but managed to close where we started at 41.86. Now, this is all very interesting because what we're confronting now is the need actually for a bounce, but as to what degree it's going to be. So again, we're looking at SubMinute Wave 1, SubMinute Wave 2, SubMinute Wave 3 in progress. SubMinute Wave 3 has already, because what I've now done, I put on extensions for where we can find some support to complete SubMinute Wave 3. And that is the extensions from the top of Wave 1 down to the bottom of Wave 1, up to the top of Wave 2. Now I have projections for the third wave. Well, we already know that third waves, I don't care which degree, they're most often the longest and the strongest waves. They cannot be the shortest. Out of 1, 3, and 5, they can't be the shortest. So SubMinute Wave 3 would be 100% of the length of Wave 1 at 42.02. It surpassed it and now starts to head down. And so it has already turned that right now, as it stands, SubMinute Wave 1 out of this 5-wave sequence is not the longest wave. SubMinute Wave 3 is thus far. But I'd like to see that most often the third wave will come within and hopefully down to this 1.618 level. And that would be where it would be equal to 1.618 of that first wave. That sits at 41.25, 41.26, right in that area. Now, we're starting to see we get a little bit, start to get some overlap, because here we have for the SubMinute Wave 3, these are for the minor 3. And so I could put an additional in for what we'd be looking for in the minute degree and for the minute third. So, but right now I'm going to say that this is kind of where I'm thinking that the market may tend to get to. Now from here, we could, we could get a fourth wave bounce, and it would be a subminute fourth wave bounce. And right now, as we can see, they are quoting things higher. They're going to move this up. It closed at 41.86, and they've got it marked about 2 3/4 points higher. Not all that great or not all that big of a deal. And you can see already they're starting to shift it around, and we'll see what happens. So a small bounce followed by additional decline could bring us down to the next support for this third would be at 41.72. Then we have 41.55 and then 41.26. Now that is the zone I think could complete the minute third, a subminute third, excuse me. Then we get a subminute wave 4, then a subminute wave 5, and that would be to complete the minute third. So where could that take us? That I believe we're going to start looking at these lower levels. It's starting to drop below 4,100, 4,100. And once we start getting down here, we're now still measuring this minute third. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that particular, and now I'm going to draw what we could be looking at in terms of, yeah, that's right. So I'm going to go back up to here, down to there, up to here. And you're going to see we're kind of in that same areas. 1.618 is 41.36, and that's where minute 3 is going to be 1.618 of minute 1. But this minute third wave is already really getting nice and juicy and long. So we're now just getting some help that if we bounce off of here in a fourth wave, and then we come back down in a fifth, that will then complete minute 3, 41.36, 41.37, and then we have some additional support at 41.19. And we could likely almost get all the way down to 4,086, 85. So these numbers are in play now. And that is where the minute third wave would be 1.618 times the length of wave one. Perfect. Fits perfectly. The 3, 4, 5 fits perfectly. So we're building our picture, what we can now likely expect. Now, it could do this all overnight, as a matter of fact. If we get a little bit of a decent rally going here, and where we can get that wave 4 in, and then a wave 5 decline brings it into here, then that just completes minute 3. And we need another rally and a minute 4, and another decline in a 5th wave. And that starts to bring us down to what are we looking for in this minor third wave? First of all, we're looking for it to get below 4101. That for certain. This is where minor wave 1 ended. Minor wave 3 should be definitely getting itself below that. So I'm going to once again take off some of these so that we're not getting ourselves confused. Now we're looking at what are our support levels for the minor third wave. Well, minor wave 3 would equal 100% of minor 1 at 39, 34, 35, right in that area. Well, I prefer not to just stop there. I would like to see a little bit more, which are going to make minor 3 the longest wave to kick off the next decline. So here we have further support coming down 38.20, and then we have additional 37.50, and then we have that 618 level. Boy, that looks good at 36.35 for the minor third. Okay, now let me go back. What we need to finish first. Okay, so what we are again doing is the extended part, the largest part of this third wave looks to be very close to being complete. And we get a 4 and a 5, and that would complete the third. And then, excuse me, this would be 3, a 4, and a 5, and that completes that minute third. And we're looking for that to come in down below. These are the minor. We just had the minutes, and they were sitting right around 41.35. So we can start to put our picture together as we complete all of these sequences. So we have 1, 2, then we got this could be the 3, then we got a 4, 5 to do that, complete that 3, and a 4, 5 to complete that 3, and then an additional minor degree wave 4 and minor degree wave 5 to complete the intermediate third wave. And intermediate wave 3 would be equal in length to immediate wave 1 at 39.86. Well, we already know that we're likely going to surpass that. So again, intermediate wave 3 lines up to come in down here around 3,600. So we still got quite a bit of drop to come before we then see a more sustained, larger intermediate fourth wave rally. So we're going to see smaller rallies all the way down. Small rally 4, drop. Small rally for another force, drop. Small, et cetera, et cetera. So for tomorrow, depending on how we get this wave, if it extends further down, we have our levels coming off. And then we'd still be looking for a small fourth wave and then a drop back down. Right now, I'm looking for, if we were going to do a fourth wave off of this close, then we're thinking, well, 42.06, that would be 1, and then 15, and then up to 31. 31 would be a lot. Then we're impinging upon this wave 1. So from here, I'm not looking for much. Maybe 42.06, 42.16. Then we drop again to complete the minute. So we got wave 3, 4, and a 5 to complete this 3. Then a 4 and a 5 to complete that 3. I don't think that all that's going to happen overnight. I think a lot of it will be coming in tomorrow and possibly starting from a much lower level. So I'm going to leave it there. Continue to use the Fibonacci, the moving averages, the Elliott to guide your trades. So as we start to break down, remember, I said we needed to break above all these moving averages to prove that the market was going to put in 3 and that the minor 2 was still in progress. Well, that failed. But then again, as we started to come down, it broke back to below the 50. It accelerated. It broke the 20. It accelerated. Broke the 8 and the 4. It accelerated. Broke support. It accelerated, etc. All the way down. We are opening a little bit higher. It's a nice little bounce. Nothing to get too excited about. And I would suspect that they're not getting this NASDAQ off to a rousing start, or actually the S&P, but it's a little bit. That put in a new low at 81, and now they're going to rally it back up. So again, we're getting a little bit oversold down here. So having a bounce helps to relieve some of that pressure, and then letting the market to assert the next downside pressure on it. So we're not done going down. I do not see that just yet. Again, I do think at this stage, pullbacks until we start to finish the minor third, pullbacks should be on the shallow side. The minor fourth wave, that might be a little bit larger and maybe a day or two in progress. And we might get that towards the end of the week. We'll wait and we'll see. Take each day at a time. So continue to use each of our indicators for the Fibonacci, through the Elliott, and through the moving averages to guide your trade and to set up your next trade. And remember, as support levels are broken, you're going to be looking for that next move down to that next support level. Now, again, keep in mind the degree that it is breaking. These are for the minor third. You're going to run additional here, and these will be extensions from the top of 2 down to here, down up to there. That's going to give you the subminute 3. If you do it the same here, here to here, that's going to give you the minute 3. So each level you can put in your extensions, and you're going to get the overlap, which is going to help you determine, okay, that fits. I got additional resistance for a different degree at these different levels. It's going to be a break point, or it's going to be a stop, bounce, and then break. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. And our next update will be on Tuesday, the 8th of March.